You are officially an incinerator. Welcome to the Incense and Common Sense. I'm sorry, the live streams that we do here on the Alerts on TV. Shout out to everybody because it's a worldwide movement. Um, Hope y'all having a good day. I know it's Sunday. It's church day for a lot of y'all. Y'all might be in church, or y'all might be already done left. Whatever you're doing, as you come in, hit the likes button. I'm gonna do a 30-minute stream. I'm not gonna hold you guys and girls up too long. Shout out to everybody because it's the worldwide movement. Sorry I'm a couple minutes late, but I was getting everything fired up. Um, and Hope y'all having a good day so far. I hope you continue to have a good day, a safe day. Definitely. So we'll do our usual shout out to everybody. Definitely, it's a worldwide movement. But not only that, shout out to the gun tubers. Um, Shout out to those of you who support GunTube, whether it's the Alert Zone TV or any other channels. We sure appreciate y'all. We 2,400 strong now. Uh, Working on that 2,500. It's been a slow process. You guys know I've been under several shadow bans, um, things like that, but we keep the movement going. Definitely. Shout out to everybody that was able to catch the live last night. We had a real good discussion. I'm letting you guys know I'm planning on doing another one today, later today. Maybe around 6. I'll just watch the community tab so you can know. I got a pretty good topic that goes into the Second Amendment. Because usually when we talk about the Second Amendment, we talking about protecting yourself. But there's other aspects of the Second Amendment that I want to cover too. So definitely, shout out to Eyes and Ears Tactical. Thanks for the incinerator. We definitely appreciate this. This was a good prop for the channel, um, and what have you. So give everybody a couple minutes to get in here. Once again, like I said, when you come in, if whether you catch me live or you catch us on a replay, let us know where you're tuning in from. All right, Jerry McCullough, what's going on? How you doing? I'm doing well. I'm doing well. All right, we got Dr. T in the house. What's going on, Dr. T? I know you be getting it in over there. All right, Young TY, like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, appreciate that. We got 11 people. Yeah. Like I said, we're going to do MidDay Mania. I'm in Michigan, state police officer of Michigan. Oh, okay. We got law enforcement in the building. I appreciate you. I appreciate you tuning in. Since you're here and you announced yourself as law enforcement, thank you for your service. I just want to tell you, when I talk about encounters with law enforcement and things like that, I'm doing this always as a prevention of having anything escalate, because as I told you guys, we're not anti-law enforcement here. At the end of the day, y'all have a job to do. We want y'all to go home to y'all family like we want to go home to ours. So appreciate you. Appreciate you for stating that. The state of Michigan. All right, we got Pause and Play in the house. Definitely. Now, just about to drop a little bit of this knowledge. And it's good that we have somebody that's a state law enforcement officer in here, because you can probably agree with what the topic is going to be about. Oh man. Okay. Um, he said this morning they lost an officer from a shooting. Um, wow. My condolences to him and his family. All right, we got Ronnie in the house. In Flint. Okay, yeah, I've been up to Flint. Okay, we 5 minutes in. Let's go ahead on and get this started. So I wanted to talk about criminal support and how criminals have a vast network of support. And all right, Gun Freak Nation in the building, waiting for telling how support. You know how they say silence is violence. Well, support encourages. Um, we have this thing here, and we all guilty of it, of saying free certain people, freedom, freedom, but free them from what, for what? And that's something you have to think about. For those who are guilty of a crime, you're freeing them from what? Because every crime has to have a victim. Okay. Shout out to that officer. But what was the inspiration for this was there's this video, it's a real old video. It's a couple years old, of down in Miami where this lady had her home burglarized several times, once or twice. She got a home security service, and she went and got herself, I think, a revolver, and it alerted her that her home was being broken into. When she came home, she caught the burglar coming out the back. Some kind of an altercation happened where she defended herself and she took his life. I gave kudos to that, but it was disturbing about what his family said. His family said she didn't have to shoot him. She didn't have to confront him. And there was even one who went so far as to talk about how this guy had dreams of going to college, and he's from the hood, and he got to get his clothes and his stuff however he can get them. In other words, he should have been allowed to victimize her. And they said straight up, I don't care if she had a concealed carry permit. I don't care if she had her gun license. She shouldn't have shot him. Do you know that's a very bold statement for somebody to tell you, I don't care that you have the right to defend yourself. My loved one should have been allowed to victimize you, and you should have let them go? There's a lot more of that going on out here than people think. That family was just more blatant about it. There's a lot of families throughout the years I've seen video. Yeah, when we done here with this live stream, you guys and girls, YouTube, like a Miami self-defense type deal, a Florida self-defense, you might have to play with it a little bit to find this particular video. But yeah, his family got up there and said, I mean, they was basically, without saying it, they was threatening retaliation against this woman. Now, when they say the guilty always return to the scene of the crime, that's not a cliche. It's disgusting, honestly, but family loves family. Yeah, and we're just gonna have this discussion, and I'm just gonna put some things on your mind. We try and be straight down the middle here. Notice, I haven't picked a particular race or ethnicity because this cuts across racial lines. But these people were saying that she didn't have the right to defend herself. They don't know what happened. First off, that kid didn't have no business going in that woman's house. Yeah, you're right about the enablers. So his family got up there and did that. Then I seen other videos. There was a video where a guy was robbing Family Dollar, and he had the employees or was tying them up or whatever. And somebody in the store had their concealed carry license, and they piece on him and they put him down. And his family was saying, well, he didn't have no gun pointed at him, so he should have never shot him. I mean, you'd be surprised at how much people egg on criminals. Let me say this. You can't have an underworld without support. You can't. The public And people have to be willing to go along with this. And I'm gonna touch a couple of areas real quick. I ain't gonna hold you guys and girls too long. Right now, we got a inmate that escaped from Louisiana, Derrick Groves. Now, I remember when his grandmother was assassinated. Um, Officer Lynn Davis, you guys don't have no idea. The documentaries about Lynn Davis don't do justice of how really, you guys don't know how much blood that man has on his hands. That man is responsible for multiple bodies. He's only got convicted of one. But y'all don't understand what kind of a monster that dude was. He was Denzel from Training Day times 100. That's how bad that guy was. And Corey Groves is the last inmate that escaped from OPP that's still out on the run. But he has a support network. Number one, he kept his fucking mouth shut. Wherever he is, believe me, these criminals, especially hood criminals, they not out here making money in the street. They're not going to jail behind hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars. They going to prison behind crumb hustling. None of them don't have money. He's got a good support network. He has kept a low profile, and believe me, I can't point to where because I don't know. All right, Jerry McCullough. The streets is helping him. He's kept his mouth shut. He's got support. Fugitives, especially known fugitives, they have to have an underground support network. And the underground support network is not going to be people that's in the lifestyle. But it's going to be people that's intrigued by it. There's something I've noticed in my years of coming up. We always talk about women in the hood and Pookie and Ray Ray being the preferred choice. But, okay, all right. All right, be safe out there, Jerry. You ever look at these mobster movies? All these narco movies? The old gangster movie, all this type of stuff. There's one thing I've noticed. No matter what race or ethnicity the criminal is, especially for the males, they're never sexually starved. They have a full supply of women. Some of the guys with the worst reputations across the board get the pick of the litter. And I've always noticed that, damn, these guys seem to never be sexually starved. When you start listening to it, you hear about how the women love the bad guys. That helps fuel crime, whether you believe it or not. You look at these mafias, these mafiosos, all of them married. You look at it, the movies, a lot of time imitates real life. It's very seldom that real life imitates a movie. They get these ideas from these movies from real life, the majority of the time. These guys have a wife, 2 or 3 girlfriends, and everybody know exactly what they do. You remember there's a scene in Goodfellas when Henry meets his wife, and she gets to meet the other wives for the first time, and they sitting around and just casually talking about how I told that motherfucker you better do that or my husband will blow your head off. They're just as complicit. Even if they're not out there participating, that is support. Stop snitching is support. You may not like what I'm saying. I'm just saying there's support systems for criminals. And we all have screened free somebody that we knew to be guilty of a crime. There's some people that I'm fond of, and they got some of the worst reputations to ever live. Being from New Orleans, let me say this. The dudes with the worst reputations was some of the best people to be around. You never would have guessed they was like that if you wasn't a part of that life. And some of them people already knew what they was. And that didn't never deter them from people being intrigued and hanging around them. And I'm just pointing this out. This is why you got to be legally armed. We all are guilty of it. Whether it's embracing Scarface, whether it's embracing these mafioso movies, these old gangster pictures where they would have the Tommy guns and stuff like that. There's an encouragement that we all participate in. There's a support system. Criminals can't be criminals without support. When the public decide they're going to turn on a particular criminal, they have to go on the run. Or they just wind up getting locked up. I just thought this was imperative to put people up to. This is why you got to be legally armed. Bonnie and Clyde had thousands of people attend their funeral. Yep. Yeah. I mean, some people who had the worst reputations had some of the biggest funerals. And I'm not going to even sit up here and pretend that I haven't lauded some people that I know to have a bad reputation, that I know to be of street stature. From New Orleans, we had a group, the Hot Boys, not the rap group, the real guys, the actual gangsters. I've seen all four of them before. I've only met two of them. I met Terrence Gangster Williams. I was real young. 2 or 3 times I saw him and spoke and what have you. But his closest buddy, Mosquito, rest his soul. I know what Mosquito has allegedly have been a part of. I can't go off the rails because he's not here to defend himself. I grew up with him. He's a little bit older than me, but I came up under him. And he developed a reputation for being a straight, back then we would say head buster. I don't know what's the street term now. To this day, I still think about him. Sometimes I miss him. Sometimes I have reminiscing about when we was young and when he was coming of age. Those guys are reportedly responsible. Some reports say 40. Others say they're responsible for over 90 murders. Just them 4 guys alone. I mean, they was what they were. There's other guys who I dare not mention their name because just the mention of their name can get you a visit for NOPD. And pause and play, you know one of the main guys I'm talking about. I grew up with him and his family. I'll just say they off Jackson and Dry. So everybody already know what family was infamous on that intersection back in the 80s. And I grew up with them all. The monster that they put on the news, I knew him outside of that. We, as law-abiding citizens, just have to be careful because some of us have family members that we know what they are, we know what they do, but we'll back them up to the hilt if it costs us our life. And I'm not absorbed in it. I can't be hypocritical and say that I haven't had times in my life that I had family members and friends. I knew what they was, and I was willing to lay my life on the line for them. I'll say this about support. It's funny until it knocks on your front door. It's celebrating somebody getting robbed or shot until it happens to you. And then it don't be so funny. There's a whole lot that comes with this life. There's a whole lot that comes with the support and participation of the underworld. And you just got to take it when it comes to you. Whether we talking about the traffickers, the home invaders, the car thieves, the whatever, the scammers, because I don't want to just absorb just the violent crime, the Ponzi schemers, the insurance fraudsters, all that, all that. Ladies, I know y'all love to say y'all love the bad boys. I want you to understand something. That's support. That's giving guys a reason to go out and get into the criminal world, because they feel that gives them a better chance to have the pick of the litter. Like I said, I had saw that video, or I thought about it, and it just made me want to do this for Midday Mania today about criminal support, man. The criminals have some, the North Hollywood bank shootout. Everybody remember that. Them 44 minutes, they call it, where them two dudes robbed that bank in North Hollywood and they had that big old shootout out there. We actually got to see that live as it was. We replay that. We cheer that on. I mean, we marvel, we revel in them types of things. But that types of things is what give people who may want to get into that world support. Serial killers, martyrs. There's guys and girls that said they've done things to become famous that were infamous because of the support. Richard Ramirez, Charles Manson, all these serial killers, they have untold amounts of women that are willing to marry them, even though they are convicted monsters. They get fan mail. Hell, Charles Manson dead and he probably still getting fan mail. That kind of stuff. We may see it as intrigue, but the criminals see it as support. When they know they can go and shoot somebody in broad daylight and come back and walk the neighborhood and nobody will rat them out. Now, the narrative is, well, it's because they intimidated the neighborhood. Nah, most of the time it's just support. It's intrigue, and sometimes intrigue can be taken as support. I'm intrigued by some of these guys and some of these girls, some of the things that they've done. But sometimes that can just turn into support. So I just wanted you guys and girls to understand. There's people you stand in the grocery store and have a conversation with while y'all in line that can then turn around and be okay with their loved one robbing you, doing what have you. And they'll come out and defend them. Like I said, go and watch that video. It was down there in Florida. I don't remember if it was 7 years ago, 8 years ago or something like that, but it was very telling that his family got on live TV, the news, and said, I don't care if she got a concealed carry permit. She didn't have no business shooting him. After this guy, I'm assuming he broke in her house the first time, and he went back. And for their family to say he had dreams and aspirations, and that people from the hood got to get their stuff the best way they can, which meant he should have been allowed to victimize her again, allegedly. And she should have been okay with it. She should have just called the police and wait. That defeats the purpose of the Second Amendment. Because the shooters, their supporters don't say he shouldn't have shot. Their supporters pat him on the back. Remember when Pistol Pete Rawlett got convicted of the murders he got convicted of, his mom said, I'm sorry to all the people. Yep. Yeah. You know what? Pistol Pete's mom said, "I'm sorry to the moms of the victims that your sons wasn't fast enough to their guns than mine." Now, what does that tell you? That a woman can get up there and say, "Well, I'm sorry, my son beat your son to the gun." But yeah, the support, the victimization, um, the crack epidemic, living through that, and watching dudes that would take a bullet for each other, put bullets in each other. I watched how the families supported this behavior, and then it turned the families and it destroyed the families to the point where some of them from the 80s still don't talk to each other. Parts of the family live on the same block and won't say hi to each other. Well, like I said, I just wanted to point this out. Criminals have support, whether we like it or not. Bragging about your city being dangerous, bragging about having the most dangerous block and the block with the most shooters, that's support. That can be taken as support. Us as law-abiding citizens just gonna have to get it through our head. What's going on, Lazy? We're just gonna have to get it through our head that our intrigue is support, even if we don't dabble in the lifestyle anymore. I'm doing great. It's support. You got to get out here and you got to protect yourself. But you have to understand this criminal support encourages them to keep being criminals. If everybody in this world stopped sheltering criminals, crime would end tomorrow. Crime would end tomorrow. Because there's no structure. There's no infrastructure for them to hide. There's no reason or there's no encouragement for people to get out there and commit this crime if they didn't have support. But as long as they got support, long as intrigue is around, and intrigue is a part of human nature, there'll always be criminals. There'll always be people that support criminals. And that's why you, me, and everybody else that follows the law have to protect ourselves. We have to understand the world that we live in. You guys and girls know I did a video last night about the influence of music and how music has made some of these people already larger than life. All right, Jason, what's going on? Much love. So, when you have some time, you can just YouTube it. Criminal support, like I said, there's that one in particular, but there's other ones where people have encouraged and supported the criminals, taking people's lives, taking people's things, what have you. And we just have to understand that these guys and girls have a support system. Derek Groves, my understanding, he was already convicted of a murder or two. And people are helping him hide. Think about the family of the victims. They don't think that is cute. You got people cheering him on, saying, I hope they never catch him. That's support. For whatever you may think it is, I'm just telling you what it is. You may not mean to be supporting it, but I'm just telling you a statement like that. I hope they never catch him. I mean, it's to the point now where they keep talking about how it's been so long and he's got support, he's laying low, and he's a convicted murderer. So I just wanted everybody to take this into account, that when people come to victimize you, they have support. So when you defend yourself, or you ever have to defend yourself, just know it's not over. How many of y'all then got into a fist fight as children? and you had to put somebody and beat somebody down. And then the next thing you know, they went and got backup, reinforcements. That's their support. No matter how wrong they were, that's their support. Get your equalizer. Stay on alert. Make sure you don't put yourself in a position where things like. But I just want you to know, bullies, criminals, they can't be that without support. When they lose support, they lose encouragement, and it makes them give the life up. All right, everybody. This has been another episode of Midday Mania. I know it's Sunday. I know a lot of y'all are out there worshiping. I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you catch us on the replay, make sure you give everything a like. I appreciate y'all. Like I said, we're going to do another live one later on. Just watch the community tab. It's going to be a pretty good topic that we're going to talk about because it cuts across all kinds of lines. Like I said, we associate the Second Amendment with just self-protection, but there's more to the Second Amendment than just getting firearms to protect yourself. So definitely, we love to be compliant here. With that being said, enjoy your day. Be safe out there. In about the next hour or so, I'll be posting what time we're going to do the next stream. Till next time, everybody, stay safe, stay armed, stay on high alert. Okay. All right, Jerry. You definitely be safe out there. Shout out to law enforcement, too. We out.